I'll put it on 2 separate cords.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We're going to give everyone just a couple more minutes to jump on. If you have background noise, if you'll do me a favor, find where the microphone is, the mute button.
He stocked up to 12.5. Yeah, John was telling me. I think we said a miscommunication. We can get up to 25, but we only stock up to 12.5.
That was sand down there.
But, Jesus. So bad. Yeah, the only downside is that usually takes up
Good morning.
Oh, really?
And you guys on the way right now?
Yeah.
I am. How do you do it?
Bottom left.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining the webinar. This is Jennifer Bagley, CEO of CI Web Group. As you guys are coming on the call, do me a favor, take a minute, just a moment to look around at the control panel and find the mute button, just in case you've got background noise so that everybody else can hear. And then, of course, you'll have an opportunity towards the end of the call to be able to unmute and ask questions as well. In the control panel, there is an option to be able to start a chat. So as we're going through, feel free to ask questions. We'll make sure and get to all your questions by the end of the webinar. We're going to give people just a couple more minutes to jump on, and then we'll get started.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's Brandon. I'm on, and I see others are jumping on now, so good deal.
Fantastic. Brandon, before we get started, if you'll be so kind as to do just a quick intro for everybody as far as why we're here, what the mission is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Give us just a minute. We'll give everybody till the hour in order to get started.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Thanks for joining the webinar. Just hold tight. Take a moment while you're here to find the control panel and get to learn the navigation. On the control panel, you'll find a mute button. So if you have background noise, make sure and stay muted. There's also a chat button. Feel free during the webinar to ask unlimited questions. We'll make sure and get to those by the end of the webinar. We're going to give people one more minute as we still have people jumping on. All right, you guys, we're at the top of the hour. Mr. Brandon, go ahead and unmute, and if you want to give everybody a quick introduction, go ahead and get started.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, so we are here today with Jennifer Bagley of CI Web Group, and there's a few other representatives from CI Web Group on the call. Tom Miller, I'm not sure that I met him, but I do know Beverly Ballard. CI Web Group is a website and social media, marketing kind of organization. Basically, she'll do a better job than myself. to explain that. But we're looking to make the connection for you guys today, further make the connection to be pushing our dealers to use companies like CI Web Group to help build their websites and their social media and basically their presence in the digital world. And why do we want to do that? We want to do that because we sell Goodman, Amana, and Daikin, and that is the way that we basically get to advertise Goodman, Amana, Daikin when we have a dealer that is advertising Goodman, Amana, or Daikin on their website. And in our previous experiences with CI Web Group and with dealers, once we put them in touch with the dealer, they basically take it from there and do a great job of giving them a great product. And it's just been a very positive experience with anybody we've had deal with Beverly and Jennifer over there and Kathy Marshall as well. So, you know, I'm going to let Jennifer take over here. And again, this is advertising for our brand, for getting more boxes pushed through Anderson Sales and so on and so forth. I'm probably not doing as good a justice as Jennifer will do, so I'll pass it over to Jennifer.
You are fantastic, Brandon. Thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction, and I do appreciate everyone taking time out of your busy schedules. We know how busy you guys are getting as the weather continues to change. So thanks for taking the time to attend. We're going to go over just a handful of pieces of information as far as why this is important, how you guys can get in contact with us, what some of the options are for the dealers, and how to navigate our website so you know how to get around. But really, I want to start off with, we need to have kind of a focused moment on understanding our dealers and who they are. And so I'm going to jump into this presentation. We'll use a couple slides here just to jump into this. When it comes down to working with the dealers in our company, we have a philosophy and understanding that these guys are not just business owners. They're not dealers. They're not sales guys. They're not technicians. They're not service guys. These guys, bottom line, when they start their company, they are entrepreneurs. At some point, your dealer sat down with their spouse and decided that they were going to quit their day job with their full-time paycheck and all of the associated benefits that come with having a job. I'm sure you guys know well. And they were going to dump everything that they have into building a business. When they do this, and then when I say dump everything they have, I mean they have racked up their credit cards, they have mortgaged their homes, they have spent a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money in order to get their businesses off the ground. And in our world, the way that our company views these dealers is not as our clients, but as families that we have economical responsibility for making sure that they can feed their families, making sure that they can continue to grow. And that's hard sometimes when we're in a sales role to consider who we're dealing with, not just as a client, not someone that's out there just to buy my products or buy my services, but truly we are responsible jointly, you guys as well as us, for entire large groups of families' livelihoods. And when we think about why the dealers did this, they essentially all had the exact same goal. And every entrepreneur in every dealer meeting, and I don't know if you guys know how many times I speak a year, but I speak to about 100,000 entrepreneurs on an annual basis. They all have the same initiative. They did this because they wanted more time, more money, and more freedom. And when you have that soulful understanding of why they started their companies, why they started their businesses, and you take more of an active role in understanding that our job is to help them accomplish their goals of obtaining more time, money, and freedom. We want them to be able to accomplish their goals. It makes it easier for us to accomplish ours. We all have our own independent goals, and those are incredibly important, but we have to remember why they started this. These guys, if I sit them down in a room, I'll tell every one of them, or ask them the same thing: why'd you do it? Why'd you start? Why'd you become an entrepreneur? and everything boils down to I wanted more time, more money, and more freedom. Now, why is that important? Because they don't feel like they have it. I tell every one of the dealers, if you guys set your goal as something as simple as I want to be able to take a 3-week vacation in the middle of summer and have my business run perfectly. Of course, I'm going to get a couple crazy or psychotic laughs. Everybody sits back in their chair, their heads lean back, and they giggle and think it's funny, but it's not funny. It's real. We need these dealers to act like entrepreneurs and investors in their business. And when they understand how to invest in things that produce long-term, permanent, compounding interest impacts on their business, they will start to reap the benefits of having time, money, and freedom. And you will never have to ask for another sale again. Because the goal is simply, how do we ensure that these dealers are an option when and where consumers are looking for the products and services they sell, which includes the boxes you want to get out of your warehouse. So when we jump into this, when we have clarity, it allows us to be able to focus. When we focus, we're able to execute. When we execute consistently, we're able to win. And this goes for all of us jointly. We're in the same bucket. So when I say how do consumers search, go back, forget the business, forget all of this, and just think about you as a homeowner, a husband, a wife, a single guy, whatever the deal is. How do you search? If you need something, if you need a new product, if you need a new service, what do? Every audience answers the same way. I Google it. So if every audience says the same thing, I don't care what any advertising or marketing company's stats and charts and graphs and figures are, because real people are saying the process they go through is as simple as, if I need something, I go to Google and I Google it. Then what? Well, I look on the first page of Google. I'll ask every audience, do you click on the ads? 2 people might raise their hand out of 100. Do you click on the maps? Everyone will raise their hand. And then they'll say sometimes. Do you look on the first page of Google below the map? Absolutely. The entire audience raises their hands. And I make everybody keep their hands up, and I make them look around the room because I want them to see what their answers were. Because sometimes as a business owner, we do things that are completely opposite of how we respond and act as a consumer. So for you guys to have a conversation with these guys, all it means is logic. How do they search? How do you search? How does everyone you know look for a product or service when they need it? They go to Google, do a search. They look on page 1 of Google in the top 10 listings. They'll check out their website. If their website looks good, great. Then they'll go check out their social media sites. And most importantly, before they make the call to buy your product or to hire them for their service, they check out their reviews. If their reviews or their website or their social media site looks bad or indifferent, if they have 2 reviews with an average rating of 3, if they have no reviews, if the last time they posted content was in 2014, if their website looks like they hired their office admin or they built it themselves, what do consumers do? What do? You keep looking. Why? Because you have a lot of options. You keep looking. That's all we need to know about marketing is how are consumers reacting right now? What do they do? What is the process? And your dealers just need to have that logic as a reminder. And once all of a sudden that they have that light bulb moment, once you have the light bulb moment and you think about how subconsciously do you go through this process, you go to Google, do a search, you click on a website. If it looks bad, you keep looking. If it looks good, you'll check out the reviews. Most females will also look at their social media sites. If those look good, then they'll actually make a call if they can see who the dealer is, what they do, where they do it, what other people think about them, and are they easy to reach? Are they easy to contact? Is it easy to get in touch with them? That is the bottom line to this entire process. It is extremely simple. But again, when we put a business owner hat on, all of a sudden we start trying all these crazy things that as a consumer we would never respond to. So the solution, this is simple. For you guys, we make it easy. I still have people attending. All right, we got people still joining. Okay. So biggest thing to know for you guys is everything is interdependent. Everything connects. We have a program called the 12-Step Roadmap to Achieve Accelerated Results. Okay, this is a guide. There's actually, it's a printable PDF. You guys can print this out. You can carry it with you. It's kind of a checklist. And everything about the 12-Step Roadmap is how to do the right things in the right order at the right time. And I want you guys to really understand when a dealer, when a business owner does the right things in the wrong order, it will produce negative results. Let me give you just some logic to think about. If you spend $10,000, $1,000, $5,000, whatever it is on a website, and your reviews look horrible, you lose. If you're on page 1 of Google for all the services that you want to sell and your website looks horrible, you lose. If you are investing in pay-per-click and ads or in any kind of advertising, if your website looks bad and your reviews look bad, you lose. So if it's not done in a proper order, then they have to go into it knowing that they're spending money with less results. They're going to spend the money based on their logic, and that investment is not going to produce anything. And we've seen this 101 times. It doesn't matter what kind of business they're in. It's identical, and it doesn't have anything to do with them. It has to do with consumers. They bail quick if stuff is complicated. So for the 12 steps, this is essentially their website content, online scheduling and CRM, their local directories, reviews, social media. Then we get into phase 2. The reality is, if you don't have phase 1 perfected, phase 2 doesn't exist. Okay, if you don't have phase 1 perfected, phase 2 doesn't exist. So if we're trying to get a company to show up on page 1 of Google when and where consumers are searching, that's called SEO. SEO cannot be done without those other things in place. Now, there are plenty of companies that will happily take their money, even though they have a website that can't be optimized. They don't have content that can be optimized. Their local directories look horrible. Their reviews look horrible. There are plenty of digital marketing agencies that will happily sign them on to an SEO plan, regardless of whether or not it's going to produce results. There's a big difference in between the majority of marketing agencies and CI Web Group in that majority of marketing companies don't have anybody to report to except the dealer, except your customer. That's who they report to, which means that effectively your dealers have to know enough about this stuff to be able to ask good questions, monitor performance, and determine, is that marketing company doing what they should be doing? The reality behind that is null and void. That doesn't exist. They do not have the ability or capacity or tribal knowledge to be able to manage a marketing agency. In the world of CI Web Group, the difference is, I'll give it to my mother. We were raised with some good ethics, and we've got a team of smart people. But most importantly, we report to Goodman, Amana, Daikin, Southwest Anderson. We report to our manufacturers and our distributors. Our results are transparent. They are public. We have bosses. Effectively, that's what our team understands is the relationship between CI Web Group and our manufacturers and our distributors is you guys are our client. The dealer is your client. They become our client. We still have to report to you. So we still have to make sure that our relationship stays intact because we're able to produce results. because we're able to produce a quality product, a quality service, because we're properly guiding these dealers in the right order at the right time to do the right thing. We're not left in the dark. So that is one of the biggest things you can remind a dealer. That's a difference about CI Web Group, is we are transparent and we report on a monthly and a huge report on a quarterly basis back to our manufacturers and our distributors on our progress. All of our reporting, all of our pricing, all of our results, all is transparent. So that's something that's really important for you guys to know. Everything in that 12-step roadmap is, I'm going to say, logically priced, meaning we know what our costs are for everything, and our goal is to work with a dealer to help them based on where they are. So in order to help anyone, we have to know, where are you at? Where do you want to go? And I'm sure my team can answer, what are you working with? So we don't automatically just run out and make recommendations. We don't have packaged pricing where we say you can subscribe to the bronze or the platinum or the gold package. It doesn't work like that, because anyone who sells things in packages in our world means they didn't do a lick of homework. They didn't do an ounce of research. They did not take a moment to go find out, where are you? Where do you want to go? And what are you working with? So the process of us doing that, it's called a digital evaluation. And I just want to show you one place that you can request a digital evaluation. You can go here and you can click on digital eval, and you can request an eval for any of your dealers. And this can even happen before you make an introduction to us. You can also just refer them over to us. You can also send an email to sales@CI Web Group. You can also schedule a meeting directly right here with Beverly. You can have the dealer schedule a meeting with Bev. It's easy to refer someone to us, but no matter if you refer them over and they say, we're ready to go, or they're still on the fence and not sure what they need, or they're an existing client of ours, we do these digital evaluations for our own existing clients a minimum of twice a year. And the reason is we've got to figure out what's working. You need to do more of it. What's not working, we need to reallocate it to something that is. And what's next? What on that 12-step roadmap are you not doing yet that you should be doing? And this allows someone to be able to actually provide advice that makes sense. These guys, when you talk to your dealers, they are they're attending webinars and meetings and listen to some teach them how to tweet, and then they're excited and say, I need a Twitter account. No, you don't. If your website looks horrible, you don't need to be on Twitter. There has to be some logic behind the recommendations to these guys. We can't just go in with a catalog of junk trying to sell them whatever we sell. We have to actually think, for an entrepreneur that I'm responsible for, how do we effectively grow their business? And what that results in is you guys being able to grow your business, you guys being able to build a relationship with the dealer, to be able to expand the volume and number of products that they're ordering from you guys. And you don't have to work as hard for it, because if a dealer gets a ton of calls, you don't have to ask for the business because they're getting the business. And if the dealer is getting those calls because of a recommendation that you made, you don't have to beg for loyalty. They'll give it to you because you helped them grow their business. And that's what an entrepreneur wanted. So it all goes back to this entrepreneur's original goals. How do we make it happen for them? And jointly we can do that. I want to give you guys some examples of websites. And I'm going to start with a larger.
Jennifer?
Yes, sir.
Jennifer, I just want to chime in real quick and let you go on here. I just want to say, guys, also a lot of the other brands that guys deal with, Carrier, Lennox, and so on and so forth, when they do, websites through whoever their preferred vendor is, Carrier, Lennox, and Train, they own those websites. as opposed to the dealer working with CI Web Group. He will actually own his own website, which is very important to them. And beyond that, usually with those other dealers, it's a co-op as far as the money's being spent on this stuff, where, as you guys know, with Goodman Amana Daikin, it's accrual, and they can use their money 100% towards this. It's a little more freer, I should say, than the other brands. I just wanted to mention that.
Brandon, you're 100% on point. In fact, not only do the major manufacturers that you mentioned own their URL and their website, in addition, they're typically giving them a template, hunk of junk website that has very little to no value. There's copied content on it. It violates Google's requirements. It's not up to date with technology. It is the least expensive option they can get a dealer into to say, oh, and it comes with the free website. They are, and that to me is offensive. I don't know how to put it any other way, because entrepreneurs' likelihood of survival is so slim that when a major company does something like that, they take what should be one of the most important assets of a business, which is their storefront. And for these guys, their storefront is their website. And when they give them a hunk of junk because they don't know any better, and they sell them on, you're going to get a free website, and it's great, and it's actually out of compliance, has violations on it right out of the gate. They don't own it, so they have something out there that is not even part of their company's assets or valuation. It doesn't grow in performance. All of those things are hurting an entrepreneur's chance to succeed, not just grow, but to succeed in business. And it's already hard as all get out for these dealers to build a business, let alone giving them this point of sale, for lack of a better term, that does not work. So Brandon, you're 100% on point. And that is the choice to become the preferred digital marketing agency for Goodman Amana Daikin. I will tell you, it was mutual. So they obviously did a tremendous amount of research, you know, when they reviewed our company compared to all the other companies, but we did too. We were being sought out by multiple manufacturers, and I'll tell you why we chose, in addition, Goodman Amana Daikin, is because they actually care about the dealer's success. They care about the company. They're not trying to snag their domains, see if they can keep them loyal by owning and occupying their website addresses. They have ethics in the way that they work with these dealers, and they care immensely. And that means a lot to us, because as entrepreneurs, we just don't want to see an entrepreneur fail. So for what it's worth, that's a really big point. All right, you guys. So I presume that part of your guys' role is recruiting. I want to give you a tool to be able to identify, using an assumption based on data, the size of a dealer. And this is a really easy tool. Okay, this does not work if you have a dealer that is operating commercial business with contractors and so forth. But for a residential company, this is a really easy way for you guys to determine how successful a dealer is. So first, if you're Googling company, and you guys give me a city in the chat box, do me a favor, throw in the cities that you guys service. Just put in the city. I'm going to go ahead and use Long Island for now, but put in the city or suburb. And if you want, while we're on here, if you have dealers that are your current clients or dealers that are ones that are prospects that you're looking at trying to recruit, throw those websites inside the chat box as well. And let me know if you guys have problems finding the chat box. I'm going to say it's here. Actually, everyone. Okay, so you should have just got a chat from me, and that's where you can respond if you just want to paste in the cities you want to do business in, and if you have any URLs of websites that you guys are targeting and or clients you're currently working at or working on. And I'm going to go here and just go ahead and grab a URL. So we're going to take TF O'Brien, since that's one of the first ones that pulled up here. So when I pull up this, I've met with these guys before. If you go site colon, hopefully you can see that, site colon, and you put in the website address, no www. If you hit enter, it's going to tell you how many pages that dealer has in the drawer. So this dealer has over 2,000 pages in the drawer. My guess is he's a large dealer in your marketplace. Does anybody know TF O'Brien?
Yes, we do. He is a large dealer, and he is very forward thinking on your whole thing here, and he's been doing that for years. So that's probably why he's coming up so much.
That's perfect. So what you're looking for is the number of pages on their website that Google has indexed is the easiest way to determine what their annual sales are. So he's got over 2,000 pages on his website. And remember when I said how consumers search? They go to Google, they do a search, and if you're in the top 10 organic listings, which is below the map, you're an option. So he has 2,000 pages inside Google's directory that are cash machines for him, which is why his business is so large. Okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to click on page 8 of Google, and I'm going to grab another one. We'll grab this one right here. React Industries, mid-size HVAC, okay. And we'll pull this up. Site, colon, enter. They have 11 pages. They're sitting on page 8 of Google. Probably not an option.
Jen, can I just chime in? Without me switching my screen, Jack or George, probably George. George, is React, you know React, George? Might need to give him a minute to unmute. Is React yours?
No, I think that's Eugene's.
Eugene, are you there, buddy? I know you're there, but we got to give him a minute to unmute.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you just on the phone with us, or are you on video?
Video.
Okay, so I mean, everybody else that's listening, I think React is a pretty big company, I believe, right?
React in Lawn City?
Yes.
They medium.
They're medium. So a medium company comes up with 11 results on Google, and a big company like TF O'Brien comes up with 2,000 results on Google. Not a bad thought to, and I don't know the whole story with React, but let's just pretend that we could go into React and try to be selling them Goodman and Manadaikin or whatnot. But either way, just talking to him about his website and giving him that kind of guidance might open the door for the Goodman and Manadaikin conversation. It can be interesting for you to walk into a customer and maybe show him that. That's it. I just wanted to chime in there. Jennifer, go on. Very interesting.
So yeah, and you guys, this just little tools. The other thing we can do is if you want to go into a client and you want to be prepared when you walk in, you can request a digital evaluation on that client even before you've had any communication with them. Our team will prepare it for you. They'll send it to you. You'll have a ton of reports that show how they're performing, and they're all scores. It says like you scored 2 out of 10. There's easy information in there, and you can print it out, and you can walk into that dealer and say, I had my digital marketing company take a moment to do a full digital evaluation on your website. I just think that there's an opportunity for you to potentially grow your sales by leveraging internet marketing. And if you're interested, A, I've got these reports for you, and B, I can set you up with a free strategy session with my marketing agency, and they can give you some pointers on some things that you may be able to do to really turn the tables on your business this year. So we want to help you recruit and grow your dealers. Think of our team as an asset. We work for you, so use us for that. We can absolutely help with that. Another one, is anybody working with Tempco Air?
I think he's on the sign right now, but Andrew, who's on the call, knows him, and Miguel knows Temco, who's here. I know Temco, so let's talk about Temco. That's interesting.
Okay, so Temco has a website with 24 pages on it. Just glancing at it, they're focusing on Glen Cove, New York. They probably don't have a great internet presence or great business when it comes to air conditioning services, because all of their page titles are titled cooling. They're sitting on page 11 of Google. They have a blog with no content on it. And they have a WordPress website they probably set up themselves, and it still has Hello World, the templates in there. Looks like they focus on commercial. Everything else are galleries that should not be showing up on Google. We have a page on here called sample posts. These are all installs. And we have what could be either virus-created content or script content from an initial install of the website. So think about it this. You guys seen the movie? Yeah, look at all of them. They actually, unless this is another language that I just absolutely don't know, doesn't look like lorem ipsum. So this is an entire page of, that might be actually. So think of it this way. You guys seen the movie Bruce Almighty? And in Bruce Almighty, there was a time in the movie where God was standing in this warehouse with a file cabinet, and he said, anything you've ever said, anything you've ever done, anything you've ever thought is in this drawer. And the drawer flew across the entire warehouse. So that is Google, that drawer. Think about a filing cabinet as Google. And if consumers are looking for the products and services you sell and your dealers sell, then you need to have pieces of paper in that drawer. This particular company has 24 pieces of paper in that drawer, and Google can only file those pieces of paper based on the content on the page and what this title is. So this particular title is trying to get him into a drawer for the terms commercial, heating, and air conditioning. By the way, those are two totally different times of the year. I don't need to tell you that. It's not even the same business in Google's world. It's not the same business in consumers' world. In consumers' world, when it's hot, I want air conditioning because I'm boiling and can't sleep in my room. And when it's freezing, and you guys, thanks for snowing us in a hotel a few weeks ago. We were freezing. When it's freezing and there's 12 inches of snow on the ground, my nose is cold, my toes are cold, and I need heat. It's not the same time of the year. It's not the same product. It's not the same search term. So mixing this does not help. Here, we're trying to get into a drawer for heating and cooling is not a word used by consumers. That's used by dealers. That has zero value. Consumers look for AC repair, AC installation, AC maintenance, AC tune-up, AC replacement, AC service, air conditioner service, air conditioner repair, air conditioner maintenance, air conditioner tune-up, air conditioner system, new air conditioner system installation, air conditioner system discounts, air conditioner system financing in Glen Cove, New York. So every page on a dealer's website is designed to be a page in that file drawer. If the page is easily filed based on how a consumer would search for your product or service, and it's popular enough to be on page 1 of Google, congratulations, you and the dealer all just found yourself a new cash machine that will produce business for you for life. The more opportunities your dealer has the higher efficiency systems they can sell. So think about it this way. If you guys want your dealers to sell high efficiency systems, if they only get 2 leads a month, they're going to go in with the lowest price option they can because their family and their livelihood depends on making that sale. So they're not going to chance it for anything bringing a high efficiency or higher price point item to the table. When they're in a position where they have a low volume of leads, they sell lower efficiency systems at a lower price point. They also pay their staff less money and they have turnover issues. Then you have a dealer that can't grow because they can't keep their staff on board. I'm going to show you an example. This is a client of ours. They're located in Washington, heavy on the Dyke and Douglas side. So for this particular company, they have 482 results. They do over 20 million in annual sales, and that was putting it low. That's just for heating and air conditioning, not including the other services. So I want you to see the difference in the way that this site is labeled and how it displays on a search engine. I told you earlier, consumers subconsciously are going to make a decision based on the quality of the site, which means, can I tell who you are, what you do, where you do it, how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you. And what other people think about you. These are the core pieces of information that make a consumer switch gears and change. That they're going to place that call. When you look at this dealer has grown with us. Not only do they have pages in that drawer for your primary searches, ductless heating system, ductless cooling system, ductless air conditioner system, and so forth. But in addition to that, they're actually drilling into specific product search terms. So if somebody is looking for a Goodman air conditioner system installation in blank, they can play that game. And not only can they play that game, you're going to see here that they stand off the page like a sore thumb because we have their reviews showcased in a Google search. So for this, I'm just going to pull up, I was talking about jobs. So let me just grab this page title. I'm going to do a search because I want you to get an idea. There's 230,000 pages in this drawer. That's the competition. And they're number 1 of 230,000 pages. This is for employment. And not only are they number 1, they're number 1 and number 2 above your job sites. So for recruiting new employees, the same process for recruiting new employees, which I know you guys hear your dealers talk about, is the same process for recruiting new customers. Because if you ask somebody how you found your job, I guarantee you they said, I Googled for it. The majority of people are Googling outside of referrals. And they still Googled the company before they took that job. Everyone has. This guy is going to get the click even over this one, which is the actual application, because of one item. The fact that we've drilled those stars into his search results. This is, I don't know, I was going to say wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But this is, they got this. This is their business. They get that business. Let me go pull another one so you can kind of get an idea. So as you look through these titles, these are cash machines sitting inside Google's directory. So let's go geothermal heat pumps in Bellingham, Washington. What do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell it? They want to sell geothermal heat pumps in Bellingham, Washington. They are number 1 and number 2. And they're getting the business because they look like the best. And when I say look like the best, it looks like other people like them. That's what these reviews do. I can take any one of their page titles because every page title is effectively a cash machine. The reason and this, a lot of times dealers, they'll say, well, They can do this. They can add all that content. They can do SEO. They can have a good website because they're doing 20 million in sales. That's garbage. That's not true. They're doing 20 million in sales because they started doing the right things in the right order at the right time, and they didn't stop. We have a strategy session every 6 months. During those strategy sessions, we go over what's working, do more of it. That's logical. What's not working, you should stop. Reallocate it to something that is. And what's next? What am I not doing yet on the 12-step roadmap that I need to be doing? And that logic, when you guys use this language, it makes this conversation incredibly easy. And you don't have to go this far. You don't have to. For some of you are going to love this. It's going to make sense. And this is going to be, you know, a new way of communicating with your guys' dealers, and you're going to build a different kind of relationship. Some of you are going to say, okay, it makes sense. It's logical. I'm going to throw it over the fence. CI Web Group, work your magic. And both of those answers are okay. Both of those answers are okay. This will make your life extremely easier by getting all of your dealers to be the option for the services and products you want to sell in the cities you want to sell them. You can take over the market and you will not worry about what anybody else is doing. Okay, so give me a minute. You guys take a minute. Find the chat. Put a question mark in there. Type in the chat box. Drop a website in there. I want to know that you guys know where that chat box is and that you can throw in a couple websites you want me to look at.
Hold on, Jen, we're getting some in there.
All
I'm
right.
going through.
You can even type in the company name and I can give you kind of what a scenario for them as well. Good job. Thank you so much, Mr. Norton. Thank you, Mr. Slattery. Jim Martin, great job. Jay Martin. All right, well, you guys are typing some more in there. Let me give you a couple case scenarios so you can get an idea of what I would be looking at if I was looking at these sites. So first things first, Seasons Air. Just glancing at the site, remember these things: who you are, what you do, where you do it, how to reach you, what do other people think about you. Those are the basics. Who you are, what you do, where you do it, how do other people think about you, and can I reach you? How do I reach you? So right out of the gate, we have a phone number in the top right-hand corner that's small, and I can't click it. I'm going to look at this, but you don't have to do this. Okay. So
That's definitely a little too deep for us.
Yeah.
But good job.
I just had to glance really quick so that I wasn't making a claim I wasn't sure about. So I'm going to come back to that. So this is the most important piece on this website. I can't click it. I can't tap it. The majority of searches are happening on a mobile device right now. And it's not It's not optimized for mobile. If I look under heating, what this is going after is the word heating in Long Island. Heating is a really generic term. The way consumers search is heater repair, heater service, heater installation, heater maintenance, heater tune-up, heater furnace. Now, more than that, they don't just look for heaters. You guys are on the East Coast. These guys look for furnace. So heating is a function of a furnace. If they're born and raised on the East Coast or Chicago or New Jersey, New York, then these guys use the term, these homeowners use the term furnace installation, furnace repair, furnace system installation, high efficiency furnace system installation, high efficiency furnace replacement. They don't use the word heating, they use furnace. If they came from Washington State or California, a furnace is something in Freddy Krueger's basement. That's a horror movie. Those are scary. So they would say the word heater installation, heater replacement. They don't use the word furnace. But what neither do is use the word heating. Heating is the function of the servant, of the system. They're going to refer to it as the system the majority of the time. Okay, so when you look at their content is actually boiled down to functions. Function is heating. A function is air conditioning. That can also happen in a car. So we have to think really, really literal. What do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell it? I want to sell air conditioners in Long Island. That's an air conditioner system. That's installation, it's replacement, it's service, it's repair, it's maintenance, it's tune-ups. Just to kind of give you an idea. Indoor air quality, very generic. What do people look for? They'll look for UV light installation, radiant heat floor installation, radiant heat driveway installation. I don't know if you guys have that out there, but my last visit to come speak for your event made me feel like you should. I've never seen that much snow in my life. So, except in the mountains. Commercial HVAC, that's fine. So these guys have a small amount of content when it comes to their service pages. But they have these pages drilled in the rest. So you're not going to see it from the front end of the site. You can tell because they have very few pages that showcase on the front of their site. They're missing the number one thing Google requires, which is a site map shown in your, I can't see all the pages from the beginning. So when I look at their site on the back end, I can tell they've got 313 pages and they have very good page titles on these pages. They're just hidden from Google. So here's where the furnace pages are, the gas boiler pages are, air conditioners, Long Island, commercial air conditioners, Long Island. This is actually really well done. I would assume this is a mid to large size dealer. Anyone want to give me the insights on them?
Yeah. Mid to large is correct.
Fantastic.
And a good payer at that.
Right on. So this is why. So keep going back to the reason they are. Sometimes we know they do good business and they're high volume, but we don't know why. Your why is they have 313 cash machines on Google, properly labeled based on what consumers are searching for, where they are searching, and this is how they're doing business. So if you know this is how this company's doing business, it makes it a lot easier to talk to other companies and say, you need more cash machines on the internet. Think of your website like a store, right? If you want to sell shoes in your store, but you don't have shoes in your store, you can't sell them. It doesn't work like that. If you want to sell ventilation fans in Long Island and you don't have a page, a product in your store, you can't sell it. So these guys are selling boiler maintenance, whole house humidifiers in Long Island, air quality in Long Island, commercial heaters in Long Island, ductless air conditioners on Long Island, commercial HVAC repair, air cleaners in Long Island, UV air purification in Long Island, furnace maintenance in Long Island. This is very well done. Very well done. Now, the only thing I would say with them is, could they convert more if the front of their website had a little more design elements to it? Yes, it could probably convert more, but bottom line is these guys are doing well and they're on the right path. When it comes to that 12-step roadmap, they've definitely done a good job on that. I want to check one more thing. So the other thing you guys can always look for is go Google Seasons Air or go Google the company name. So the reason I came that's not them, is it? Babylon?
Yeah, that's them.
It is.
Yep, that's
okay.
them.
Okay, so big conversation you need to have with them. Big, huge, huge, huge. If you're on page 1 of Google, they've done all this work, created massive amounts of content, optimized the hell out of that content. They're on page 1 of Google. That is great, 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 great. But when a consumer finds them online and Googles their company name, they're out. They have a significant issue that they have not optimized their reviews. They're probably spending most of their time, they got a few on Yelp, couple here, couple there. Bottom line is, right here, all the value that they could have for those 313 pages ranking on page 1 of Google being an option, right here, they just lost a good 50% of the potential sales they could have had. And I'll tell you, building this is not hard. Building this is an entrepreneurial, down and dirty, take a weekend, and you hustle each weekend for 6 weeks, getting your friends, your family, your customers, and everybody to get this review up. They have 7 reviews with an average rating of 2.7. That's a huge loss. That's an exit for their business. In addition, the way their website is built, another huge loss is they don't have any schematic coding. So on the 12-step roadmap, I know I have it here. On the 12-step roadmap, what they did a great job on step 1, great job on step 2, and I can tell they're still growing. Not a good job on step 3. Step 4, I haven't checked yet. Step 5, they just completely missed the boat on this. This wasn't important. I haven't looked at 6 yet, social media, but the impacts of that are they've done a hell of a good job on step 7, search engine optimization, being an option for the products they want to sell, where they want to sell them. And then they're just knocking them right out the door, not having taken care of this first. They don't have the stars, they don't have the rankings, they don't have the third-party reviews, which are here, and they don't have the reviews showcased on their own website. That's just a huge, huge missed opportunity. But the positive thing is that's adding our third-party reviews, local listings program, alongside our on-page reviews system where they capture reviews on a mobile app, and boom, these guys could literally double their business with very little change to their marketing program. They just missed the beat on 2 items. That's good. That's cool. This is a big win for you guys and a big win for them. They can make a really big difference in their overall purchases from you guys with a couple small changes. Infrastructure looks good. Okay, LMAC.
Make that elmair.com. He sent through Elm Air. He sent through a revision to his chat.
I got you. That's funny. Okay, so same thing here, right out of the gate. Always search for the company right out of the gate. No matter what they do, if they don't fix this, they lose. They have to fix this. Google is God. This is in the digital world. This is Google business listing reviews, and they are absolute toast. So think about the way you guys shop on Amazon. I know you guys buy stuff on Amazon, or your wife does if you don't. If she sees 1.7 stars and she's buying something on Amazon, does she make the purchase? The answer is no. She keeps looking. So whatever they have done, they're limited to this. This is going to hurt them. Their Yelp scores, rotten. Yellow Pages, rotten. What do these guys do? Are they doing warranty work or Home Depot installations? Something that's causing the negative reviews?
Jim, I don't know if you can unmute and give us a little more on that.
90% of their stuff is referral.
Okay, so I'll tell you, in my world, if 90% of the business you're getting is referral business, they're probably only getting 20% of the referrals that they actually could get, which when you're looking at a business and their digital presence, it's called ORM, Online Reputation Management, referral business, protecting your referral business is actually the very first element of a proper branding structure. And you guys, I've asked the same question in every audience that I've spoke at for the last week, months, years. If you were referred to a company, would you Google them first? You guys answered. You tell me. If you were referred to a product, a service, or a company, would you guys Google the company first? If your friend, your family, your mother, your brother?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, I would not.
Okay.
Not on a referral.
He's a baby boomer.
You're my 1%er.
I'm done.
He's the higher range of the age group I gave you.
Where's the millennials at? Millennials, yes or no? Would you Google them first?
Eric, Eddie,
I'm sorry, say that again.
would you Google first a referral?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Generation X would do the same.
Generation.
Yeah, Jimmy said no. We love you, Jim.
White pages.
I love you, darling. You know, the funny part is I could actually have you guys all in an audience, and I could separate you by your answers before I asked you the question and get them 100% right. That's okay. I love that. I love that.
Jennifer, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
So on the reviews, basically you're, not so much lying, but exaggerating the truth by having your friends, relatives, and all that stuff put down in the reviews?
Well, let me say this. So there are things that are straight compliance violations by Google you cannot do. You cannot buy reviews. You cannot get multiple reviews from the same IP address, same Google account. You cannot incentivize reviews, meaning say, I'll give you $25 towards your next service if you give me a review. However, you can say, so let's say I was rewarding someone for a positive review. I can say, as a thank you for leaving such a great review on our Google account, I would like to offer you $25 certificate as an appreciation gift for leaving the love note on Google. You can do that. Okay, that's legal. Can you have your friends and or family members? Here's the bottom line when it comes to these entrepreneurs. They don't have a choice. They need to immediately fix this, and you guys should help them. You should go give them a review. They need to change this math. This is an algorithm. They need a good 1.7. They need, Mandeep will do this better than I will. I believe 22 4.8 or higher reviews to change this number and get it to a 4.2. That is a down and dirty entrepreneurial move. You need to take care of it. You can't have the same person send a bunch of reviews, but you can go in there and change the math relatively quickly with just a down and dirty, let's get it done. Then you need to put a process and system in place using an app and third-party service to help you acquire reviews as a part of your normal operating structure for your business. Some things entrepreneurs just have to do because you have to do this. This is just huge missed opportunity. Like, get it done, then move on and do it right going forward. So you can have a friend or a family member or an employee vouch for that this is a good company. This is a good business. I trust these guys. They're ethical. They don't have to say that they installed a new system. They can vouch for the ethics of the business, and that's not out of line. They can do that. You need to change the math, and then you need to put in the standard process, step 5 of the 12-step roadmap, and step 4, which is their local listings, because they got local listing issues as well. Then you need to make it part of your world. You can't do business in an environment where 80% of the population is going to make a decision before they call you on whether or not to call you based on these little stupid stars. That's not going to go away. It's just going to become more important. So that's a good question. It's a good ethical question. And there is an ethical way to do that and be an entrepreneurial hustler that just gets done what you need to get done. Something else to consider, you guys, as a homeowner or a husband, when do you guys, forget about all this stuff, when do you guys get to take care of your personal household to-do list? Your items related to your house. When do you guys get to take care of your honey to-do list?
Nights and weekends.
Nights and weekends. Okay? That's sometimes 2 in the morning. So if our business says I close at 2 p.m. every day, luckily they have a Saturday window on here. But if it says I close at 5 p.m. every day, smack dab right on the front, and you don't get to go do this and, take care of your personal stuff until later, that's a problem. Now, when they get to the site, not only are they saying they close that time, but in addition to that, there's nothing that says I can schedule an appointment to speak to you tomorrow on my lunch break at noon. That's step number 3 of the 12-step roadmap, CRM and online scheduling. We have to make it easy for consumers to book, to check something off their list, not book an install online, book an appointment to talk to somebody on a break on lunch so I don't have to remember during my busy work day tomorrow and when I get home and I've got kids soccer and practice and homework and dinner and everything else. They have to make it easy for consumers to do business with them. If they make it hard, the majority of the generations, they're out. They will look until they find somebody that's open. Make sense?
Makes sense.
All right.
Maybe we could, oh wow, 15 results. I just because I want to, everybody's getting a little touch on their customer. I know Jack's still with us and we're running out of time here. Can we do MCR real quick? Just take a look at MCR.
Yeah, let me find the chat.
I think he's on the chat, yeah. Oh, Venata, you want to do Venata, Jack? Whatever you want, bud. I just want something for you.
I just want to see that.
Okay, so Venata Mechanical, of course. So your guys' process. First, search for the company name and location, and this is what you're looking for. You always want your company, your customer, to show up on top. Now, right out of the gate, I can tell you the first major issue with this website is they have an insecure website, and this Google's actually going to tell the client who clicks on this, don't fill out any forms. Right here, your connection to this site is not secure. You should not enter any information on this site. Google is also going to penalize their site because it's not a secure site. What you need to see a secure site is it should say https://www.site.com. So to me, that's the first thing that bothers me. Insecure, and Google and security software is actually saying, hey, the site's not secure, stay out of it. Don't fill out any forms. Now, out of the gate, I love that they have an average score of 5.0. They've only got 4 reviews, so they've got a lot of work, but this is not an exit. This is okay. Their Yelp account, that's different. So we need to push this Yelp account down, and they need a local listing. I like the fact they say open until 10 p.m. Those are good. Let me jump into the site. $36 results. I would guess these guys are maybe doing $1.5 million in gross sales a year.
Yeah, a lot more than that.
Okay. Do they do commercial business? Yes. What % of their business is commercial?
They 50-50.
Okay, that's why. So if you took out only the residential, how much do you think their annual sales are?
They got to be total 20 million, and I would say probably 10.
That's good. These guys been around a long time. When did they launch? When did they start?
Probably in the early 50s, late 50s, I would say.
So that's your exception. That makes total sense. I would say these guys are at a risk of the next generation coming in and knocking them off their socks, though. So I wouldn't sit on my laurels. If I've been around for 50 years, they're probably getting a huge amount of their annual sales from repeat business, add-on service, referral business, and hopefully they have maintenance agreements with those clients. One thing on these guys, their entire website is optimized for a county. They got to have some kind of other advertising that's generating business or some way of doing business. Are they working their drawer? How are they generating business right now? What kind of marketing?
They do a lot of paper advertising, newspapers, flyers. They send out flyers, email. They do a lot of advertising. They're in every local paper.
Okay. Does anyone in here, you guys, for you, everyone that's on the call, who gets the local paper?
I do.
Okay, anyone else?
I do not.
I don't.
I guess we could say 40 and above do and 40 and below don't. Miguel, do you get the local paper? Oh, that is an exception.
Do you?
He's 48. He'll always be 10 years older than me. No.
Who reads the local paper versus using it as a fire starter?
Both.
All right,
That's the only one.
I'm gonna leave it alone. So consumers don't search by county. So however good this company is doing, that is fantastic. And they've obviously got a long history. They probably have a lot of trucks on the road, a lot of local community brand awareness, which is awesome. That is going to help them drastically. They also have an opportunity if they want to continue to do business as the impact of newspaper and television and radio and advertisements on butt seats and grocery stores and mailers and flyers continues to dissipate, and new generations that don't react to that kind of advertising. As that changes, they can wait until they have a major problem, which I have personally helped, coached, managed companies that were in this position. We have one in Georgia. These guys were doing 30 million in annual sales. They were killing it, doing an incredible job. And he said, I used to be king of the yellow pages. And in a matter of 2 years, a couple contractors came into the world that were savvy at digital marketing. Consumer buying habits changed. They went from doing over $20 million a year to doing $2.5 million in 1 year. Obviously, they still had $20 million expenses. They had a Lennox-provided website, didn't own the website, didn't own the content, didn't own anything, and basically were starting from scratch from a digital standpoint and having to recoup all of this. It was extremely painful for this company. They've been able to rebuild their business with their own website, grow. They're back up to around 7.5 million. But it was almost one of those points where they were like, this is not working. This is not working. So for these guys, they've got a big opportunity to not wait for it to hurt to make a change. I would say, this is, when I say, what do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell it? What I mean is how the consumer search. So it's the search terms of a consumer and the geo targets of a consumer. And let me just show you real quick. Oops. So what you'll notice on these guys' sites is you have, what do you want to sell? Gas furnaces, heat pumps, geothermal systems, gas boilers, split system air conditioners, heat pumps, ductless air conditioners, zoning, and so forth, right? Where do you want to sell it? What you're going to see is all of these cities are the service areas that consumers live and use in their search terms. And they want to sell air conditioning and heating in that particular area. And the way that we're acquiring the content for these pages is by making the dealer go get the reviews there. So every time they go on a job in a new city, they check in and say, I'm installing an air conditioner in Boiler Springs, Camp Hill, Carlisle, Dolphin. And when they check in and get done doing the work, then they'll ask the consumer. So Todd says, I'm working on repairing a heat pump and boiler and springs. Then they ask for the referral, the recommendation via text message while they're in the home. The recommendation or review comes in. We get the content and we go add a new page in this drawer titled the city they want to do business in with the services they want to sell. When this page is popular enough to show up on page 1 of Google, they now can sell heating, air conditioning, electrical, and plumbing in a new city they don't have a physical address, Boiler Springs, Pennsylvania. And that is the case for every city page. So they're doing 3 things. 1, they're asking for the review. 2, they're getting new content on their website for the city they want to do business in and have done business in, even if they don't have an office. 3, we're displaying those reviews on the search result and optimizing that page to make it page 1, number 1. And at this point, they have a new cash machine in Boiler Springs, Pennsylvania. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. This is great stuff.
Right on, right on. Okay, so any other ones you need me to check out? Actually, you know what I did? Let me just pause this fan.
To be honest with you, I mean, this is all good stuff, but we kind of got to get moving at this point, Jen. What I'm thinking is, I'm going to talk with the guys, and maybe they would find value in grabbing a couple more of their customers, and we kind of go through this exercise for like 30 minutes again, and just to hit back on it. And I'll find out what other points maybe they liked, and I liked it all, but I think this is good for now. Everybody on the call agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Agreed.
Fantastic. So Brandon, let me make this an option for you guys. Anytime you want to do group strategy calls, if you prepare in advance the list and you set up a webinar like this, I think it's great for education. The information will be top of mind for your guys. I enjoy doing this. Feel free to schedule 30-minute webinars with a list of 5 or 6 sites. We can start from the top, work our way down, skip all the junk. And what should happen is come up with a list of 5 sites. We jump on a 30-minute call, do the analysis as a group. You guys go back and present that information, and you're going to get questions. You're going to get objections. You're going to get they're going to ask you stuff. On the next call, bring those objections, bring those questions to the table. I'll give you the answers and the logic for being able to respond to all of those. The more frequently you do that, the better you guys are going to be at helping these guys grow and being able to present it.
Absolutely, Jennifer. And also, guys, remember you got the digital evaluation on the CI Web group page. I don't know if you could flip back to that, Jennifer. You can submit any of your dealers into that, so you have that in the as well. Beverly, are you on the call, Bev?
She is on the call. Let me show you while she's jumping off mute. If you guys are on CI Web Group, you can click on Knowledge Base here. For those that are interested in learning more, if you click on Goodman, there's 37 articles. You guys can, there's a section on here called TSM Trainings. Everything I've covered, videos, tutorials, how long it takes to build a website, strategy sessions, there's tons of information. I will put this recording for you guys. You'll have a link on here. You'll have this recording. We'll send it out to you. You'll be able to access this as well as any future trainings that we do as in addition. And
excellent.
Make sure Miss Beverly is off of mute. She's on my phone. Miss Bev, go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, hi, Beverly. How you doing? I wanted.
I've been chomping at the bits to be able to say something.
I wanted to introduce you, Beverly. Beverly, I wanted to introduce you because I know you're the main contact at the, when you're first calling customers. And I just want all the guys to know that, you've been, just like Jennifer's been so helpful, you are, just because you haven't spoken this whole time, you are absolutely as helpful. And she's actually going to be like your first person you guys wind up talking to. probably. And I just wanted to make that connection. Beverly Ballard, she is excellent, and we've worked with her many times prior, guys.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that so much. And you guys just call me, email me, whatever, and I'll get on the strategy meeting with your dealers, and we will make it happen.
You guys, I've got Beverly's contact information here. If you want to grab your cell phone, take a snapshot of the screen, you'll have it on your phone. And then I'll make sure and include this link in the follow-up email as well.
Also, if you will email me, then I will also share my contact information over to your cell phone, so I'll only be a click away.
And you guys, don't overcomplicate this. If you need to reach Beverly, send her a text message. You guys, this down and dirty, make it happen. We want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to be able to work with us.
What a good company.
That's great, guys. I want to thank you both. I want to thank all the salespeople for taking the time to be on this. We thought that this was important and of good value, and we will, this isn't the last of us all getting together.
Fantastic. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Let's make it a killer summer.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Adios. That was pretty cool, though.